Assalamu alaikum dear students, how are you? Hope you are safe and sound. I am also fine by the grace of Almighty Allah. It is Ahmed Ullah, AMU sir, lecturer at Rajaputra Model College. Today I am here with the subject Bangladesh and Global Studies for class 9 and 10, chapter 6, topic State and its activities. Dear student, let's start today's class. Concept of state. State is a political institution where people are political beings. Every human being lives in a certain state. A state never evolves suddenly. The ancient people would live in groups. The state emerged as time changed. People make the state. Many politicians and political thinkers, philosophers gave the definition of political states, but Professor Gardner gave the most complete and clear definition of state. According to him, the state is a community of persons, more or less numerous, permanently occupying a definite portion of territory, independent of which the great body of inhabitants render habitual obedience. I repeat, the state is a community of persons more or less numerous, permanently occupying a definite portion of territory, independent of which great body of inhabitants render habitual obedience. So in fine, we can say that the state is a society based on a certain territory which has organized government and citizens and have sovereign power upon all organizations in a specific geographical area. Dear students, in a nutshell, we can say state is a political organization which is formed with four elements such as population, territory, government, and sovereignty. In lack of any elements in the formation of state cannot be complete. Now, basic elements of state. If we analyze the concept of state, we will notice four elements of state. They are people, the specific geographical territory, the government, and the sovereignty. Now, I'm going to explain all of these elements in short. First of all, people. First element of state, people. The primary element of state is its people. People means the people organized politically. In a state, people are organized under a political system. People are necessary to form a state. Without people, a state cannot be formed. The state evolved from the intention of the people to be united and to build up a relationship among them. However, there is no such requisite on the number of people to form a state. That is, population of a state may be more or less, but it should have a number of population. Second element of state, a definite territory, that is geographical territory. The specific geographical territory is the second mandatory elements of a state. Every state is surrounded by a specific geographical border. Then territory also includes land, sea, and air. The sovereignty over the geographical territory is the essential for the people of the state to live in that land. To uphold the right upon a specific territory, the Citizen United launched the nationalist movement, organized agitation, and take steps according to the people of the state to live in that land. That is, territory is the second element of state. Without specific geography, state cannot be formed. Geographical territory of state includes land, air, and sea. Third element of state, that is government. Government is the third element of state. The control over a specific land is established after the formation of the government. The partial formation of a state is incomplete. There are three divisions for running the government: law, administrative, and judiciary system. That is, these are the three organs of the government. I repeat, the legislature, that is parliament, the administration, and the judiciary. These three bodies form the government. Usually in a democratic system, the people form a government through general election. With the election, our government is formed. The system of government can be different in different states. And Professor Garner explained the importance of government like as, if we consider a state as a body of life, so government is its brain. So without government, state cannot be run. That is, all the functions of state are run by the government. Now, fourth element of state. The principal element to form a state is the sovereignty. The meaning of word sovereignty is the highest and absolute power. The formation of a state becomes complete when sovereignty is ensured. That is, without sovereignty, state cannot be complete. This power distinguishes the state from other organizations. That is, the government handles the sovereign power of the states, and that's why government is supreme authority in the state. The sovereignty is a characteristic of a state which is not bound to any other legally except its own will. In a social system, there will be a central authority which will execute the supreme power, and this power is the sovereign power. State has two types of sovereign power: internal sovereignty and external sovereignty. By internal sovereignty, the state controls all the citizens, all individuals, all organizations within the territory of the state. And by the external sovereignty, the state state maintains the country from the foreign aggression. So, dear students, these are the four elements to form a state. Without any element, the formation of a state cannot be complete. Now, activities of the state. The functions of a state are divided into two parts, two groups: the mandatory or prime activities and the welfare or optional activities. That is, prime activities and optional activities. In another way, mandatory activities and welfare activities. Mandatory activities or prime activities or essential activities or compulsory jobs of the states. By any name we can define this: mandatory or prime or essential or compulsory functions of state. First of all, law and order. R.M. McIver says in his book Modern State, maintaining law and order situation is the prime work of a state. A state has to ensure security of life and property of the citizen and protect the freedom of the individuals. The key responsibilities of a state are to make the people abide by the laws, punish the offenders, and maintain overall peace and harmony of the country. The state establishes political authority in local, regional, and national levels to achieve this objective. The state establishes the police and paramilitary forces to maintain law and order situation. In Bangladesh, police, RAB, Ansar, Village Defense Party, and sometimes BJP, etc. maintain law and order situation in Bangladesh. Second mandatory function of state: defense, to defend the country. The state has to protect the national security, independence, and sovereignty of the state. The state establishes a powerful defense forces to protect the country from the foreign intervention and maintain the geographical integrity. The defense force is established with Army, Navy, and Air Force. In modern state, East independent states builds up a powerful defense force. The capability and the modernization of defense force give a country special facility in international fields. For example, the USA, the UK have the leadership in the world due to their powerful defense forces. Third major function of state: foreign affairs, dealing foreign affairs, foreign relationship. State builds a friendly relation with the countries for political, economic, and with other countries for political, economic, military, and cultural development. Introducing the country in the foreign field, establishing diplomatic relationship with other countries, signing various treaties and conventions, establishing commercial market in foreign countries are the important functions under the foreign affairs activities. Next, law and justice. State establishes the judicial system to maintain peace and discipline in the society. The enactment of laws, the implementation of laws, and ensure justice are fundamental duties of a state. The parliament enacts the law. The state establishes judicial system, judicial council, Supreme Court, High Court, Judge Court to ensure justice in a country. Next, administration. Point: administration. Every state establishes an administrative structure to accomplish the routine work to control and run the state smoothly. The state recruits staffs and officials, distributes their works, provides them instructions, supervises and directs them and their activities. Financial affairs. The last mandatory function of state: financial affairs. The appropriate management of the finance and resource, and the collection of funds and proper distribution of resources and funds are the prime function of state. That is, state is to manage the finance and resources and do help in producing different kinds of agricultural and industrial product. A huge amount of money is required to run the various activities of the government. The government has to collect money from various sources in order to collect the taxes and other. The government imposes tax and revenue on various sources. Business organization, individuals and traders. That is, in order to maintain all the financial activities, the government collect tax, revenue on various goods, service organizations, from individuals, from traders, even from companies. The state collects them with the help of officials. That is, state recruits different officials, different persons to collect the revenue tax from the individual people and companies to manage the financial activities in the state. Moreover, the state formulates annual budget, introduce paper currency, coin currency, facilitate investment, fix up the price for essential commodities, and determines unit of measurement. Even the state controls the price level and inflation rate in the country. So, dear student, these are the mandatory or prime or compulsory activities of the state. Now, welfare or optional responsibilities or functions of state. First of all, education. The most important optional work of the state is to educate people. The educated citizens are the most valuable resource of the state. The educated persons are aware of the citizens' rights, duties, and responsibilities. Even they become patriotic. The progress of the state depends on the educated people. The state develops the education system and conveys the facilities of education to citizens' doorstep. The state initiative and social initiative are necessary to eradicate illiteracy from the state. The government introduces compulsory primary education, organized adult education, gives emphasis on the women education, and initiates various programs from primary level up to university for eradicating illiteracy. Second optional function of state: public health. Healthy and strong people are the asset of the state. The state plays significant role for healthcare of the citizens. The state establishes and runs hospital, free medical centers, mother and child healthcare center, family planning center, health camp around the country for healthcare services for the citizens. The state arranges treatment facilities for the patients, either nominal or free of charge. Besides, the state provides services to ensure healthcare, arrange pure drinking water, sewerage system, disease prevention measures, and immunization or vaccination program for the children. Then third optional function of state, social work. Social work. The state has to ensure supply of essential commodities such as rice. The state plays a significant role for wiping out various disparity and bad customs existed in the society. Besides, the state also plays a vital role to eradicate dowry and racism, prevent child marriage, and ensure gender equality from the country. These are the social activities of the state. Then food security. Point, food security. The state has to ensure supply of essential commodities such as rice, pulse, flour, coarse flour, sugar for food security. For this purpose, the state has to modernize agricultural system and provide subsidy to agriculture. The state has to provide fertilizer, seeds, pesticides, irrigation system to the mass people. Even the state has to increase storage to preserve food. Because of increasing population, the demand for food has been increased. That's why state always perform its activities to provide sufficient food security for the people. Next point, industrialization. Economic development of any state depends on the industrialization. Establishing new industries, providing logistics support and loan to the entrepreneurs for setting up big industries, and establishing industrial zone are important optional function of a state. Next point, trade and commerce. The economic development of any state depends on the overall improvement of trade and commerce. Creating market for products and extending support to boost up exports are important optional function of a state. Every state should focus how to be self-sufficient rather than depending on import. That is, by expanding trade and commerce, the state tries to increase export to foreign countries. Next point, transport and communication. Transport and communication. The infrastructural development of a country, such as making roads, bridges, culverts, establishing highways, railway, waterway, and air communication system, ensuring post, telegraph, and telecommunication services are some important optional works of the state. If these infrastructure develop, the state will be developed within a short time. Next point, national integrity. To maintain harmony and unity among the people, the state has to protect the national tradition and develop nationalism. To develop nationalism, the state plays role in protecting the local culture, music and song, conserving local crafts, and organizing cultural programs. Through these activities, the state tries to maintain internal integrity among the people. Next, recreation. The state set up stages for performance and establish playground, parks, and gardens for the entertainment of the citizen. Even the state should conduct games and sports, entertain people. Now point, people's right. The most important optional work of the government is to defend the independence and right of the people. The state has to ensure freedom of speech, freedom of movement, and political activities of the people. The state has to organize free, fair, and neutral election and preserve the interest of the minority. Even the state has to create an environment so that people can establish organization, form political parties, and involved in politics. Now, social security. To standardize the living of the citizen, the state takes various steps to ensure social security, providing financial help to the poor, widows, orphans, and disabled people, providing allowance to the unemployed, giving pension and grants to the elderly people are the social security activities of the state. Next, welfare of the labor. Welfare of the labor. Upholding rights of the labor, making labor policy, fixing up minimum wage, determining working hours, creating working environment, providing bonus, insurance and pension, creating employment, and making skilled workers are important optional function of the state. That is, state uphold the rights of the laborers, make labor policy, fix up minimum wage, determine working hour, create working environment, provide bonus, insurance, and all other economic financial activities to the laborers and workers in a state. And last of all, public welfare activities. Last optional activities of the activity of the state is the public welfare activities. The state initiates various public welfare works such as the development of agriculture and irrigation system, the forestation program, facing natural disaster, rehabilitating disaster victims, protecting people from famine, supplying electricity and energy, proper use of natural resources, the urbanization and rural development, etc. are included in the public welfare activities. Dear student, these are the welfare activities of the state. As much as the welfare activities of the state are expanded, as much as the country will be a welfare state. USA, UK, Japan, Singapore, Canada are the examples of welfare state. So dear student, stay home, stay safe, study regularly. Thank you very much to be with me. No more today. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.